So yeah, today we're drawing demons, drawing demon weapons, and maybe if we have time, drawing some of these peripherals for the other demon characters. Yeah, while I was off, spent a bit of time just setting up the demon characters, so making the prefabs, and because of the way I've set up this project, it takes quite a while to do that. So I definitely recommend building constructors properly in your code, but I didn't, so I'm kind of doing everything manually in the prefab, which is a bit of a pain, but I got that done. So that's all of the prefabs made. I haven't got Unity open, but yeah. So next up is to draw the weapons. We have our list of weapons here. So these are our demon weapons. And so yeah, let's get cracking with that. So first one, nice and easy, is a sword. So I've just copied the human weapons here. And sword is super simple. I don't know if there's anywhere I can really go with that. Talking about improving the original sprite for the humans. This is the size it needs to be. This works. If we were to add more detail or make it more exciting, that would require a higher level of resolution, because there's not really a whole lot you can do with the pixel size we have here. But how do we demonify this sword? So for reference, I think it would be good to have all of our existing weapons open. So we've got black weapons. So there's our undead sword and how it evolves. This one's a bit more anime over here. And then we've got our green weapons, who their main sword is a scimitar. Where is that? Here it is, all the way down here. Sort of curvy blade, which looks pretty good. But what we want is, so that's sword 1, sword 2, and sword 3. So we want our demon one, which I think is going to be somewhat red. I think, so I need to check now. If we have, so I just want to check in our characters, we had our metal color. So it's this one. Is that this? It is that. Okay. So is that a good color? I don't know. Maybe we want something a bit more black. But let's say, and then we've got to think about the shape of it. So if an undead one is kind of rigid, double-sided, quite symmetrical, the human one is like one-sided, symmetrical, and the scimitar is like all bendy. I think we want like a sort of rugged, I think what single edge is good. So yeah, let's just copy this, bring it up here, because this is going to be our first demon weapon. Single edge. So let's just redraw. We don't need to redo the handle. The handle evolves by itself. So we want, I don't know, sword. Up. Needs to be more epic looking than the normal sword. But I don't know, like it's still a tier 1 sword. So I'm thinking, I don't know. Like as for basic shape, we could go for the good old orc, the Uruk-hai from Lord of the Rings, something like that to start with. But also trying to keep it simple. Keep the shapes really easy to understand. And is that more of an orc thing? We've got machetes and whirlwind blades and lightning blades over here, and throwable goblins, spiked shields. Yeah, blood machete, Star Trek things. So yeah, maybe this wouldn't be a bad place for the Uruk-hai sort of sword shape. So like, yeah, let's keep it nice and even up here. Kind of sticking out a bit. not too much taller than the other sword. In fact, not taller at all, about the same height. And I'd like the base here to be symmetrical, if possible. And then, yeah, we've got this very tight, so maybe that should be like just one higher. Just so it's not so tight, so we can actually see some of this tip here. And we've got just a sword that has, I mean, the other ways you could go with it, you could just go with like something black, but we've kind of got that for the undead. And are we going with this colour? I'm not sure we are. I think we might need to come up with a different metal, because that looks a bit pooey. So for starters, we need a sharp bit. So let's just get a color, because then we can just color change it. And then that's like decidedly the sharp bit. Oh yeah. B is right next to N, makes a new thing, and then it feels a bit lackluster, but again, we're not trying to go crazy here. It is just a sword. Doesn't have to be impressive. Got some kettle silt. Okay, so what if we just had this kind of like organic, what do I mean by organic shape though? Like a sort of flamey thing. No, I think this might be the way that we go. Although we could have like more of a butcher's cleaver, or like, it just has to be different, really. Like, so we still have like the human sword shape, but we just chaos it up. So that's, you know, so it's not straight here. It's a bit lopsided, and so it's actually basically the same thing. It's just not symmetrical. We just kind of intentionally don't make it symmetrical. And it doesn't need to be bigger yet. And then we've got this kind of I think that's better. Kind of looks broken almost. And then what if we actually just did go with the same colors there? Yeah, I think that works out. And then what if we give it this color instead? And then could we come up with a better, like, demon steel? Like, what if it, I mean, I'm not very good with color, but here's what we've got. So what if we made it a bit more red? No, it kind of looks like ketchup, but darker, slightly less red. And then like that. That ends up being too dark though, doesn't it? What if the dark bits were particularly dark? I feel like that's too dark. But then what if we did take this color, shushed it up, just made it a bit brighter. So it's very red. As compared to like, yeah, it's very red. It's like deep red, almost shiny. Okay, so what if we did go with that? So we've got our colors here. And then we would actually have to have our brighter version. So we take this and then just nudge it up for the sharp bits, and it would actually have to be significantly off. Still the same hue. Or we just go with normal metal color. I mean, this guy, yeah, the brown doesn't look exciting enough. So like if it's like this deep red shield, I think might look better. What if we had it here? So just to really lean into the redness. But then it's red, but maybe it really does need to be quite a bit darker. And then how does that compare? Yeah, I don't know. No, I think this is better. So if we did that to all of these, and then this off color works, keeps the contrast up. Right. Yeah. So then we keep that for color is not easy. A lot of clever thought goes into it. Okay. All right, looking good. Yeah, I think that's a bit more colorful. That's a bit nicer. So if that is indeed our color, that's the same, right? Yeah, it's the same exact color. Okay, yeah, I think that works. Let's go with that. Wait, I'm deleting instead, duping instead of deleting. Okay, and then so where do we go with this? So we evolve it in the same way we evolve the other weapons. So I'll actually take this, and yeah, let's just start deleting freely. And we can just kind of paste it, just to keep the handle evolution, because the handle evolution is good. We don't want to change that. Just so we've got that there. And we essentially just want to go bigger and badder each time. So if we went like, yeah, just make it larger. So we go 1, 2 on each bit here. There's too many for a single growth. Just want it to grow evenly. I think 1 is going to be enough. Just so it doesn't, just so we've got somewhere to go. So it doesn't grow too rapidly, and then we run out of space to reasonably grow it further. And then we need need to do similar things to what we've done with the other weapons, where we just kind of dot the sharp edge with the sharp color, like that. Yeah, here we'll grow it by 2. Should get the same result. It's always hitting N because it's next to B. Okay. So yeah, we're getting a stronger handle, bigger, stronger blade, and we need to have more of these sharp edge moments. Really kind of dotted everywhere. So where was it? On here. Yeah, so here. Okay, and then final form, so I will copy it from here. And final form tends to have very sharp edge, almost like serrated. I don't know if that actually, like, I think it looks good at a distance, but not necessarily up close. And yeah, so we want to grow it again. So go 1, 1, 1. Yeah, so yeah, we want it on every byte. That's what I've been doing so far. If we want to change that, if that's not good, then we need to go back a little bit and rethink, because this is how we've been doing it. Yeah, I mean, again, sort of mid-game, you've kind of... Yeah, I don't know, does it look good? Does it just not look good? It kind of looks fine here. It sort of tells the story of the weapon being sharper, but does it actually look good? Does it not just look messy? Yeah, it's a bit better. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that'll do it for our basic sword. It's supposed to be basic. Yeah, I mean, this is basic. This might need some work, but this is the fireball across all. So the fireball's used by 2 different factions, humans and the demons. But it just looks the same. So yeah, maybe we'll improve that. But they do use the humans sprite for that. Okay, next up is Chaos Hammer. So we can take our existing hammer and say, do something a bit different. So I think it would be nice to come up with some kind of consistent, like what is the demon like staff wood color? Is that this that we got earlier? I mean the hammer itself should be in the kind of demon steel. I'm not sure I'm going to use this shape, but I just want to get an idea. And then if we took, yeah, this color's looking very weak now. So I wonder if it even has a place. Let's just delete it. And then here, what if we just went for something like much darker, but still on the same hue? And then what if we had another one that wasn't quite so dark? And that's our kind of demon handle look. Oh, why is it the first one has a handle but the others don't? That's a problem. That's a mistake on the human weapons. Okay, I'll fix that later. Should be the other way around. Should be that it doesn't gets a handle after stage 2 and 3. But this is, I mean, this is really basic stuff. I drew this much earlier on, but it does feel incredibly basic. When I was just trying to say, like, okay, we've got this very low resolution. Let's do a hammer. Let's make it a bit halberdy. Let's give it spikes. And, you know, it was just kind of really as basic as it can be. Whereas now we have gotten a bit more ambitious, a bit more characterful. So we're not just going to do red hammer. So yeah, I might have to go back and redo some of the human weapons. I mean, I think the axe looks fine. It's not really very far you can go with an axe. So yeah, this is the Chaos Hammer, which will evolve into, so yeah, demon sword, hammer, bident, and claw. Evolving, let's just show it. So, demon sword took demon greatsword. That's non-elemental. These are elemental. This is chaos hammer plus fire is Grond, so it's like a fiery hammer. Bident plus icicle is like deep trident, so that's like your, you go from a bident to a trident. It's not too crazy. Claw plus chain lightning is Sky Ripper, so that's going to be quite fun, like sort of lightning claws. And then we've just got our magic weapons, which are the same. We've already done these. And then these special ones, mirror, which we've kind of got in the form of the character, because it's going to be a smaller version of that. And then like a special mirror, which will have like something on it, which doubles the return. I don't know if that's the best. I mean, that seems to be like a sort of trick demons being tricksters. Kind of works for that. Sacrifice and Necronomicon. So yeah, like healing and sacrificing units. And then Consume and Behelit, which are like, yeah, we kind of know how those are going to look. So thinking a bit ahead. So this just needs to be hammer, bident, claw. Okay. I mean, it is almost tempting just to have a red hammer. How do you demon this up? How do you make this more demonic? Let's see if I can find some like inspiration. So there's that Dark Souls one. Talking about Ornstein's hammer, I think. Or is it Smoke? I can't remember. One of the two. And so it's got this like claw at the bottom. See, that's quite cool. And then Grond is a bit of a reference to Lord of the Rings, where we imagine a sort of wolf's head. Okay, so yeah, we can kind of... So yeah, let's start this again. I think I did a similar thing well with the mace. And yeah, there's an interesting thing going on with the handle there. So yeah, I think I want this handle. And, oh, that's slightly off center. Or the other one is, okay, so this handle with this kind of shape here. That's what I'm taking reference from, this kind of shape. That would be the demon, the like guard demon's hammer. But I guess Smoke's one looks like a melted. The guard demon had like a melted version of Smoke's hammer, which is interesting. But yeah, Smoke's hammer is actually like a hammer. But I think we are ending up with more of a mace. So let's see, because yeah, this is the kind of look I want to do. So we're not doing this. This is a spiky mace. This is its own thing. But if we just kind of go for a big old lump, I don't know if it should be like a smouldering lump or something more refined. So if we go like, might already be too big. So yeah, actually that would come down a little bit. So yeah, I'll just copy the shape a little bit. So we come down sort of straight away. We go up and then down. And then we got a kind of natural shape as it comes out. And then yeah, I'm gonna delete this. And then we kind of almost look like a tooth in a weird way. Just I'm looking at these bits. Okay, so we've got this like big old shape, which just would have this like, I mean, it's very like amorphous in the reference I'm using here, but kind of bony. The handle is cool. How would we do the handle at this resolution? Oh. Like, this is like not a bad kind of, this could be like a universal handle for all of the demon weapons. Yeah, that looks quite cool. Kind of asymmetrical because of the even pixels, but uneven pixels. Or even pixels, but it has to have a spike. Yeah. So it kind of looks... But I like that. What if we even like made these longer? No. Just that one longer. Yeah, that's quite cool. So I could see myself putting this on a lot of the demon weapons to kind of give it like you know, I think it looks cool. That does look cool. Maybe I should save it for like the tier 2 stuff. But anyway, so let's bring this down. And we're sort of looking at this. Yeah, I mean, that's basically the shape that I'm looking at here. Kind of big, scary looking hunk of like meat that looks like it might have been carved off of something, or like it's ambiguous. And yeah, you have got your kind of like, what if this is actually rotated? But there's this sort of fun. Because it ends up being very big, like it's very big compared to the human version. I mean, it kind of makes sense that demons would be showing up with a weapon like that, especially if you said, like, let's slow down its attack speed, but really raise the damage in AoE. Feels like the kind of thing a demon would do, right? Yeah, I mean, if this is a mace, this is a tier 2 weapon, though, so it should look like this. It should look epic. But this is a tier 1 weapon. So maybe the thing is, it's not very good at just shrinking in pixels. I mean, understandably so. You kind of have to, the easiest way would be to just draw it again. So let's try that again. Or what if we just, we rotate this? And then if I grab this, then I can place it somewhere specific. Okay. So it is a big ass hammer, like, from the off. But maybe we can just make that shape a bit smaller, and then I'm kind of seeing, like, okay, so we've kind of got this hammer shape. I'm spending a long time thinking about this, but I think that's right. That's reasonable. So let's try this again. So we've got, like, should I use the line tool? Claw. Claw. And then I'm kind of developing my own idea of what demon weapons look like in general, which I think is a good thing. Yeah, so we end up with a shape that sort of looks like what we were doing there. Why don't I like that last shape? Yeah, it feels like it's tilted up too much. So we just simply come in a bit. This is because the back isn't actually working here. So it does look like a giant tooth, which I think is somewhere to go with this. Again, like, when you can't be, it's like, if you can't draw very well, just be creative, right? Do fun, wacky stuff. Do what you can be fairly confident no one else is doing. So if this is like a tooth of like a giant demon, that's actually quite a cool idea. So if we took our horn color, which sadly we don't have in the palette, so I'll just do it the cheeky way, and actually made this the colour of... And then where would the shading be? Would it be here? Definitely on the bottom. So it is actually like... yeah, like a giant tooth. Yeah, that's kind of got a vibe to it. So we've ended up with something. We went on this little journey, seeing hammers that we liked, and we've ended up with this hammer that is basically a big tooth. So we go, that's the human version, that's the undead version. So we can make it a bit taller. Just but yeah, I think this basically, this is it. Okay, and did we have a better color? I think we do like this color for our demon weapon handles. That is a bit dark. Maybe we... And then would we consider coloring in this claw? No. Okay, yeah. And I think we will save the claw for later. And remove it for now. So we just have... And let's just be consistent between the weapons. So the handle should be, yeah. Not the most efficient way to do this, but hey. So that, yeah, for this hammer it's kind of on par with the axe to a degree, though it does appear more like a sort of one-handed weapon, so it can have like a shorter handle. Okay. And then where do we go? I think we just kind of make it we give it cracks. And we do the handles like normal. So the way this one goes is we go, handle doesn't change, but we get the cracks, and then we get the grips on the handles. So I can copy those over. Again, very, very sort of awkward way of doing that, but just kind of preserving what needs to be preserved when possible, when necessary. Okay, so yeah, the handle doesn't change again there, but maybe we do go with like a bigger tooth. Don't know how. Don't know how that would work. How would the tooth get bigger? Just to level it up. Has to get bigger, doesn't it? Okay. And then I think what I want to do is like give it like gold filling. So if we had like did we do this before? I think we did do this before. We did this with the goblin scimitar, so I will try and use the same yellow that I used for that. Just for some consistency, and then if some clever art director went through, they'd be able to say, ah, there's gold, and then they can, you know. And we haven't done anything too crazy here, but I think this is a nice evolution. It's kind of clear what's happening. The yellow does feel a bit off on the yellow. Is that even yellow? Like it starts to look quite green at that point. I guess that's the sort of difference between colours, isn't it? You want actual like gold, right? Yeah, like straight away that looks better. So if I took a pixel of that, gave it over here, and use that color instead, and yeah, look, it works here too. Okay, yeah, good. That's how you improve your color IQ. Okay. Yeah, hammer, nothing crazy, it's a tooth. That's a cool idea. Okay, got too many different tabs and windows. My too many is not that many, 3. Just 2 different windows, 3 different tabs. That's still too much for me. All right, Biden, I really do think this one can just be as simple gets. So we will take something like our spear, just for the dimensions. And we just want this very simple shape, and I'll go kind of methodical. I think a bit bigger than that. Use the line tool. So very much your kind of devil's pitchfork. It does ice lance attacks. It does icicle attacks, but we do just want simplicity, and but you know it will fit in with the demon army and having this as a demon army leader will look normal. It will feel correct. Alright. And then yeah, we can kind of sharpen it up with this color. And then stick with what we're doing with quote unquote wood handles. And then yeah, simple. It's a Bident for a demon, and I think these look better with these bits off. Yeah. Okay. So then I think this is a very simple progression. The bits of the Bident get a bit wider and a bit longer. Huh? So let's take one from there and one from here. Yep. And then we'll just I think we can be a bit thicker as well. So we can take this whole part, lift it up, take this whole part, lift it out, bring this down, and taller, of course. I think that's enough for one stage of progression. Magnet. Okay, and finally we'll just do the same again, lift that up, lift it up from here, lift it out from here, fill it in. Nothing crazy here. There's not many places you can go with a Bident. Why does it have to be a Bident? Well, I think the progression from Bident to Trident is quite fun to see happen. Oh damn it. Always make that silly mistake. Forgetting to make a new layer. Yeah, I mean, very simple. We don't have a lot of pixels to work with, but we just want to get this shape across, and we'll see characters running around with Bidents, and that will fulfill the thing. Okay. I think I'll do the claw, and then I'll go make a cup of tea. So, yeah, this works. Big progression there, and we want our handles. Kind of makes it look a bit more effortful, doesn't it? Okay. Yeah, what we might have to do is actually go ahead and make different looking staffs for different factions, so that, you know, these guys would have their Because we've got some unique staffs for Resurrect and Command, but wouldn't it be nice if their like Fire and Lightning also had this shape? Yeah, I think faction specific staffs. So even if they mostly look the same, I think it would be nice to have them actually look a bit different. Okay, so we can do the claw now. So the claw is like, it would have to be kind of facing up. Yeah. So it's just, and it's literally just going to be like 3 spikes. 3 symmetrical spikes. Why is that not? There we go. Okay, I'm not sure if this is final form, but just finding a starting point. Yeah. Hand claw weapon. Yeah, just with some kind of basic grip, right? Again, symmetrical I think is good. And let's give that this color. And yeah, I think for the effect of it not looking like a hand, we need to sort of cut these off. I don't know. Maybe the pinks make it look a bit whack. Maybe it will look good from a distance. The spikes on the claw are almost as big as like the spikes on the Bident, which doesn't make sense. But maybe again is visually correct. Can I see my walk claw? Where is it? Where is it hiding? Here we go. So maybe it should have that kind of dimension. We'll see how it looks in the scene. I might have to rotate it a bit just to get it right. Yeah, I mean, it's like the same as that, but it's clearly a weapon. And then, yeah, we might need to rotate it even like that. No, that wouldn't make sense. I think like that will be correct. I don't know. We'll see. we'll get it right. And yeah, you just kind of got this grip, making it clear. And then the sharp sides are actually maybe we should attempt more of a curvature. Let's do that in the evolution. So how would we attempt more of a curvature? We would like grab it at around here and move it like that, and then we would grab it again around here, move it like that, so that each of them is also, I could just copy and paste, so that each of them is a bit taller, but also like has this curvature to it. So they just get more kind of it's actually like the underside here that would be the sharp bit. I mean, you could have it sharp both sides, but I feel like, I don't know, these are starting to look even more funky. So I don't think we want to go to the right anymore. I think we just want to extend. Is that a good move? And again, like we talk about how many weapons and armor there are in this game. Like, do we really need each of the 4 versions to be different? I mean, yeah, we kind of go from simple triangles to, and once again, I've neglected to make the next version. Yeah, that's fine. And then we just made it bigger each time, and that's fine. Kind of look like ladies' fingers, weirdly. I don't know. I think probably the best thing is for me to kind of drop it and come back to it later. But we have some version of claws. Okay. And then yeah, so rather than skipping fireball and chain lightning and icicle and all of that, so we should have icicle here. Yeah, I'm actually just, so we take the same body, but we want our version of the staff, which is very simply just our own colors. That's the only thing that changes. So we just change the base colors of the staff like that. Very simple stuff, but it just, I think it is a nice touch to have these different weapons with different sprites. It does actually mean I need to, I'll need to do something to make this work down the line, but this should be it for now, just so it's very clear that yeah, different factions have different looks for their staffs. Or maybe not, I don't know, maybe the wood was fine, but I think, yeah. And I think in all of these cases, these look better. If it's like supposed to be wood or something, I think it looks better with soft edge here. Makes it more rounded, just ever so slightly, right? Okay, and then we do actually want to, we would want to take these. So I'm actually going to go ahead and just delete all the ones in between. Obviously they're still there, we can get them back. Just, yeah, so we go fireball, icicle, and then I can just take this and go down here. Oh, why is icicle so much shorter? Interesting. Random little detail there. That shouldn't actually be the case. Does it hurt anyone though? If like, yeah, that should be the same sort of height. But I think it's probably fine. Okay, and then we've got chain lightning, fireball, icicle. So we actually want to get chain lightning out of here. So what have we got? Chain. There's chain lightning. Okay, yeah, and so the orcs all have these kind of more gnarly styles, which I think is a fun thing. So we are just going to want to take the orb. So we'll copy this. And we just want to take our orbs in each case and replace. It's fine, we can deal with those gaps later. Yeah, we can fix the details of that later. Okay, so how would we do this? We would make this, I think this would stay where it is. And we just go right up. Yeah, that looks good. And then we just need okay, so we have fireball, ice lance, icicle, chain lightning, and then the next one is mirror, sacrifice, consume. I'm going to take a short break, go and make a cup of tea, so I'll be right back. There we are, just in case. Alright, I'll be back shortly. yeah, getting through this. Not too bad, this one. It's just weapons for the demons, and if this is all I do today, then I'll be happy. As you can see, I hate drawing. I much prefer programming and testing and designing. But, you know, has to be done. It's not like it's terrible. It's not like I don't get anything out of it, but it is fun when it comes together and when the things look good. So, mirror. What does a mirror look like? Well, we have... Where do we put it? So we want to look in demons. We have a mirror that is used as a weapon. And I think it would be quite fair. So like, how would that look? Because I think the sizes are off, so we're going to have some trouble. If that's just what the character carries. But we want a mirror that evolves into a more powerful mirror. So there's really not very far you can go with this in terms of like, yeah, like where do you go with this? I mean, we just add spikes in this case, more spiky mirror. We could consider, what if we just went with like a circle? Might have to, yeah, like a perfect circle. And started by giving it that. So we do and then we'll just have to fill in the spaces there. Okay, and then what do? We do like another circle, again in black. Ideally this would be, so we need to go in and get if we gave that this color, and already I think that's too big. So yeah, I messed up a bit, but actually maybe not. I mean, comparing it to a shield or a banner like that, yeah, that's about right actually. We lost our shield. Like comparing it to our spike shield for the orcs, it's actually not too bad. I think that is a good size. Yeah, okay. Let's do a bit of shading then. And now we really, like the thing about circle tool, so if we start here and then we're on the inside line, would that translate to being our edge? Not really. I'm not sure why. Why wouldn't that just... because I guess if it's smaller, yeah, it's not going to have the same lines. So I kind of need to, yeah, we'll just put shade on the bottom right. Bottom left we'll just do corners, and here at the top right we'll also just do corners. And then on the right side we do full, and then right here we do, actually no, we'll never do double, we'll never do filled corners. Okay, yep. Yeah, that's given it a bit of depth, and it is just a bloody mirror. Nothing too complicated. Let's try and get some inspiration. I'm pretty sure there was like a faction in Warhammer that uses mirror shields. It's a different thing. Were they the Mirror Knights? Warhammer Mirror Guard. And the guy was like so vain, he ordered all his soldiers wear like mirror shine armor. Yeah, those were circles, but they had like kind of they have some stuff to them. But yeah, they were like mirror shiny stuff, because the leader was so vain, he wanted to see himself in the battle, so he ordered all his men to wear like mirror shields, and they end up being, so they've got these like engravings on them, like moon engravings. Sigvald's Mirror Guard. But what if I went for something a bit more, I mean, we've got this simple shield. I mean, we do really just want to keep it simple, don't we? So if we had some like spikes. So yeah, just two up here to begin with. So we go. Just do it by eye. Do it by eye. Yeah, so if these inherited the kind of bone horn color, that so there's consistency there. Then we just get a more spiky shield. I mean, where can you really go with a mirror? The hope is that as I go, I'll kind of come up with something better, and then once I've thought of it, it won't take too long to just draw it out. But yeah, if we said that's our, so that's stage 2. Stage 3 would have more spikes, bigger spikes. Yeah, I guess we just kind of get a bit excessive with the spikes. Short little ones. They don't have to be perfectly symmetrical. In fact, it's probably better if they're not. Yeah, nothing crazy, just a mirror shield that gets more and more epic as you go. We could check, because I'm not putting too much effort into it, because we might actually change mirror shield entirely. Like, I'm not sure if this is fun in this game. If there's better options than reflect what the enemy is doing. I mean, it creates a build that is a shield build. You need to have some kind of shield there. And as you can see, I've already kind of questioned it with, like, what if we just had like some kind of more faction symmetry where it's like each faction has its own type of shield, so you could have like an ice shield which absorbs mana and a demon shield which heals if you block something, and an undead shield which I don't know, like there's different sort of directions you could go, like yeah, mana, weapon reset, that kind of thing, like counter attack, like shield. So like the plank would be like a shield of counter attacks, you know, which would cause, if your shield is hit, it reduces the time, the cooldown time on your weapons, which would be quite cool, right? It's just like a shield that makes you attack more. And then yeah, like a shield which bounces some damage back, and then the shield which gives mana. You know, I think all of these would be cool things. With the mirror being like, is it that fun? I mean, the programming headache I gave myself just to test it, just to be like, oh, is mirroring fun? And I always want to, like, I never want to not try out a gameplay feature because it's like work to implement, you know. I always want to kind of just try it, and then if it's not good, it's not good. But if it's good, then it's like, well, you know, and yeah, you don't really know until you try. I mean, you know, people spend a lot of money trying to figure out design before. It's like trying to figure out how your recipe's going to taste before you try it. It's a bit impossible. It's doable, but it's a bit impossible. Okay, so we have our shield there, and let's collect my tabs back over here. So there's our mirror, and then we have sacrifice, consume, which evolves into Necronomicon and Behelit. So I do want to save, like, I know what a Behelit should look like. It's not anything new. It's a bit like the souls that you eat in Devil May Cry. So let's go sacrifice. So I think yeah, and I haven't thought too much about this, but yeah, this kills lowest HP ally and heals all others. So it like uses some of your allies to keep others alive. Seems a bit crazy, but it's very much on character. We could change the details of that, but essentially what we're doing is we're hurting one of our allies to make the rest better. So what does that look like? Is that just the staff? With the... I mean, so we know what a Behelit looks like. I can look up for Behelit. Yeah. And what we find is the Behelit. I think it has like its nose, its eyes, its mouth, all facing different directions. But then once it's ready to do its thing, all of the pieces of the face come together to, and then it starts crying, which seems like the sort of evolved version. So we can start with like, yeah, Behelit. And then let's look at Devil May Cry Red Souls. Is that what they're called? Red Soul? And these similarly, yeah, they've got a face on them. They look like they're ready to do a big sacrifice. So, and that they always just have their face somewhere on them. So it is just like a tormented soul. Orbs, they're called. Red orbs. So if we kind of start with these kind of disjointed face, and then we can kind of, it comes together to be... And what is he doing? Is he just holding it? This is going to be the sprite that's in the character's hands. And then something that evolves from that into a Necronomicon kind of gives us the space to... Okay, so if the sacrifice becomes Necronomicon, then maybe that should be set like a book and then consume... And we might just go full berserk here, but like we'll do... If we had like a book shape. And do we kind of have that in... So let's, yeah, which we actually do want to see... On all our references here, all of our self-referential stuff, sprites, weapons, human weapons, and we have our, yeah, here we have our scroll of inspiration, which looks quite cool. It's got its vibe. It looks like an Elder Scroll. That was what I was going for. But if we're going more like just a book. And it ought to look like an open book. So we just do like a couple pages popping out, just to give us some, just to really finish the idea that this is a book in people's heads. So it should look like the character is reading a book. And if we said on this book, and I've got this image tattooed on my body, so I should remember what it looks like. Actually, I honestly don't. It's here. Sacrifice. There we go. Yeah, I had it right in my head. So it's a big long line down like that. And then try and get the dimensions the same. Harder than it looks actually to do this even with the line tool. So we have a book of sacrifice. Should we do the little fork here? No, it's not enough detail. Do maybe. And yeah, that looks decent. And then if we took our like staff color, if we took our, I mean, I guess we could take this color for what we think the pages might look like. Just so that we're really selling this idea of pages. Like it's an open book, it's being read. I need to clean my kettle. Okay, and I feel like double binder, so like that, just to give it some like length, I guess. Or would that be in a different color, so we can go and get our dark version here, just for a consistent color palette? And can we just run that along here without issues? Yeah, we can. What if we fill that in? So look like a sort of used book. And then, yeah, would it have anything on the back? Like, yeah, it just kind of gives it a bit more depth, doesn't it? Okay, yeah, we can do that on the other side. Just to give a sense of depth and detail. And then should this be thicker? No, I think that's fine as it is. It's clearly a book with some kind of dark symbol on it, some kind of runic symbol. And those who know will know, you know? Like, it's a mark of sacrifice. I'm going all in with our Berserk references. Again, we could change it, but, you know, here's our book. And then, I think it would be fun if what sort of starts to happen is we kind of have this, like, magic emanating out, right? So what does magic look like? I think we can actually have this. So if I go edit, manage this palette, and we're looking at this color, and let's just make another one like that. And can I edit A? No, I can't edit A. Can I like do that manually? 0, 0, 0, 0. So could I do like this? What does that make? Nothing. Yeah, no, I mean we can't do half. Okay. That's a shame. Okay, but we can have like, yeah, we could just have like straight fire coming out. Like there's a glow to the pages. Come on, let me. Why can it never do that consistently? I wouldn't mind like a pixel. I mean, maybe it exists, but a pixel drawing software like this, but with much more kind of like smart tools, like wrapping and shading in an intelligent way that can kind of cut down a little bit on the work. Okay, so then what if we? that too much all at once? That might be too much of a leap. That might be where we want to end up. But actually, for starters, we just want a little... Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a nice progression. We don't need anything more fancy than that. We just want to show the progression has happened, and we'll probably have to do some funkiness just to stop this one from rotating, kind of like we did with the anvil and other similar things, just because it's going to point at allies. We'll see how that ends up looking. But yeah, no, I mean, like, I'm trying to move fast. I'm not trying to get every single one perfect and just so. I just want a version that has at least had some effort put into it for each thing. So then now we do want to do our kind of Behelit thing, and our unformed Behelit with. And we can kind of, I feel like we should start, and yeah, we'll go small. And we'll start with, like, not even really any features. So maybe, like, how do they, I should, yeah, keep this image up. So the typical one has kind of the nose down here. And then, like, an eye. With, like, mouth. And another eye, like, off to the side here. And so let's go with the very same demon color we have here. Let's make a new layer. Just it's the easiest way to just grab the colors. I mean, I should make a proper palette, but that takes time and effort. Okay, and then we definitely want to shade this up. Give it that smooth look. Corner inclusive down here, and then let's get those eye whites going. What is this white? It's just 236. Okay. Close enough. And then maybe like to start with, so that can be like stage 2, but to start with, like the eye is closed. And in each case can have some shading under it. Yeah, and in fact, even earlier. And at this point, what are you doing, cats? No, cat's being, the older brother is being creepy with the little one. Okay. So yeah, we develop a mouth there. I don't know if that's clear. And then maybe what we can do is start to do a bit of like the blood red around the eyes. It's sort of good progression, I think. It's a bit weird, a bit difficult to see what's going on there, but you know, it's new, it's different, it's interesting, so it will meet the criteria for today. So that'll be our consume and sacrifice. Sacrifice and consume. So here's our sacrifice, here's our consume. One is to like heal the hero, one is to heal the army. Maybe there's some overlap here in terms of theme, but again, that's why I'm not putting too much emphasis on getting these just right, is because these could be cut entirely and changed for something else. I'm just kind of creating my space to really get stuck in with the design of this game. But yeah, I think today we have made some good progress so far. We've got toothy hammers, we've got Bidens and claws, and that sort of match each other. We got our mirror, we got our sacrifice, we got our bear helmet. Okay, so now it's time to start thinking about the tier 2 stuff, which in a funny way is easier. So for the sword, this is a simple one. So this is our evolved version of this weapon. So we take this as a starting point, and let's make a new layer. Delete that. Take this, and then I do want to grab this. Just pop this here. So we start with that claw thing, and then yeah, for reference, where do we go with this sword becomes Ice Grieve, which is this one over here. So they get like elementals. That the human sword becomes the fire sword, Flame of the West, and the orc sword becomes the lightning sword, Skagnazg. So what we want to do here is, I think we do just want like an enhanced version, like a big. So we want the same colors, the same sort of idea with the shape, but I'm gonna like redo the shape and see where we land with it. And this is a big ass great sword. So I think the position of the weapon is fine, but we are going to use the whole bit there. So we go big demonic. I wonder if we could have this element of incorporating fire, ice, and lightning into a single blade. Let's see how this goes. So we take that, we grab the right color, and we grab our sharp of that color, which ends up being pink, which is a bit, don't know if that's suitable for the demons, but so this is sharp along here, and it's sharp along here, and it's sharp here, and it's sharp everywhere. It's a bloody sharp, scary looking thing. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, if I do that I lose all those colors. So I'm just going to take this color and do that, and then back to this color, and do that, and then this color and do that. That was the easiest way. So okay, yeah, I think that works. We've kind of taken elements, like we've got the sort of backswing of that one, the jaggedness of this, and then like we will flamify it as well, I think. Let's get a reminder of the flame sword. Yeah, we've kind of got something that works here. So yeah, big ass jaggedy, crazy kind of sword that looks like it could hurt the user as much as the its intended target. Kind of has that back sort of spikiness to it, and I mean, you know, again, like I'm not an artist, like I'm not going to get this super right, but yeah, that evolves into this. And then where do we go with it? I think we could sort of incorporate so we could incorporate some of these flames. So let's have some fun. So yeah, if we sort of incorporate it, like it gets fiery. What if this could be like step one? We get proper sharp straight away. Sadly, I think this is the most efficient way to do this, given that yeah, I mean, what if, and then it would actually be easier to get black back and then fill this in. Okay. And then what if we had, yeah, like flames start to like, so this is meant to look like a really kind of extra sort of different elements. I don't know if we should save this look for something that's a bit more like, because I do eventually want to include like double combined stuff. Like, for example, you combine ice and something and you get flame. If you combine like speed and attack speed, you get time magic. If you combine AoE and what was the other one? AoE and something and range, you get space magic. It would be cool if you can combine time and space magic to make some kind of like black hole. Okay, well, for starters, this should be a lot tighter. So we would want this real tightness to the image. Then if we had just like a couple spots where it's like spurting out a bit. And then we got this kind of multi-elemental sword, which wouldn't actually be that hard for me to like make it a proper like multi-elemental sword. Okay, and then we'll take, yeah, this and maybe little Little flames curling up here. And then we can give them a bit of juice. Yeah, okay, it was pretty out there. Might actually look better with the black outline. Let's try that. So we can actually get our, if we just take this and copied that right over, that might actually look better. And then some lightning coming off it, right? So something's very similar to these little shapes. So if I just took this, it's really just to grab the color. And so if we went here, and then from here, I'm going to make a new layer just for this, in case I want to copy it over to the... So yeah, we would go like little... This sword is a bit of a mess, but I think if any sword is going to be like, oh my god, that's too many different flavors of sweetie on the same plate, it would be this one. I mean, to be honest, what we might want to do is just have a more, just make this more jagged and crazy looking. So yeah, it's like a sort of fire and lightning. I mean, it would look cool maybe if it was animated. So we go from here to here. I need to yeah, so we take this again, and we want one of these, but with the lines. So this would be 1, 2, 3, and then what for ice? Like some just big blue aura around it. Like, it's gonna look gnarly. It's gonna look silly. So the thing about this weapon is it doesn't actually have an element. All the other ones will. So I think maybe the smart thing to do here is to kind of just move on, and we'll come back. We'll come back to this. Okay. So the next, because we're gonna do different weapons and I think I just need to maybe just get that out of my system. But this will be, let's just to finish it. Because what it might be is that this just shouldn't have any elements on it at all. But that does look quite gnarly, but it's quite silly with the pixel art. It would be nice. It would be great if that was like animated subtly. Okay, so what we want now. So that would be Demon Sword. Now let's do Chaos Hammer. So this is a hammer that is very much a fire hammer, and we don't really want to take this. We kind of want a hammer that is like going to be a wolf's head, because that's the kind of reference we've stolen for the moment. But if we start with this kind of handle and we say big old hammer, so I'm going to go look at, so Grond is from Lord of the Rings, if you remember the big wolf thing that they used to batter down the wall. It's got a very pointy upturned nose. With big teeth. And we've got to remember to like leave some space to grow. And then not too much like a crocodile, and then the eyes. Mine's going to end up looking like a crocodile. And I don't know how to denote dog. Like, or like wolf instead of crocodile. What is the difference? It's the subtle shapes of things, isn't it? Why does a wolf look like a wolf and a crocodile like a crocodile? Okay, let's give this the color to start with. And these lines, so yeah, this is like a good natural. And then we would actually fill that in. It just looks very, very amateurish, doesn't it? Which is to be expected, because I am indeed an amateur. But can we get this shape right? So yeah, maybe it's got some ears to it. That eye just ends up looking really small. But I'm kind of happy with that. I'm kind of okay with that. I think this maybe should. This is not the way the mouth should be. So we need a bit more space to get the mouth across. And then why does this look rubber? Okay, so yeah, we need to do this again. But I'm quite happy with like the sort of basic result. So let's just delete that. And we want big toothy, big teeth coming from both sides. we want a nose. We want an eye. And now how does the eye end up looking? So this is too big. And it's not going to do a very... And its mouth actually needs to be closed. So let's try and get the mouth right. We want to go a bit smaller. And let's try and get the shape so like we actually... Should I use the line tool? Let's use the line tool. So we go in, up, up. Not too many. And then it would just kind of be fire like creeping out from there rather than... And then we get the eye sitting above the grin there. I mean, it doesn't have to, like, if I just kind of... If we just kind of took that and then... I feel like it just looks messy if I like flamify the mouth. But okay, so if we said that was like phase 1, and then if I basically make... Just see how this looks. I mean, does that look like what it is? I don't know. It's kind of fine if it just looks like a weird lump and only some people see that, oh, that's kind of like a wolf's head, kind of. That one kind of looks more funny. It's just like a deranged fire thing. You can kind of tell what's going on. And then this top of the eye here ends up looking like the pupil. So maybe. Okay, maybe there's something in between here. So if we took this and yeah, it's basically deleted that. Fire on the eye is good from the beginning. Yeah, I mean this is pretty wacky, but I think that's fine. I think that's good. That's gonna work out well. Is this intentionally the same color here? Is that actually what we want? Yeah. Okay. Right. Yeah. So not that one, but this one. Yeah, it kind of looks sort of reptilian a bit. But that's fine. And then it's just this. I mean, maybe we go all in with the fire here. Kind of imagine that some's coming from behind as well. Just to really like make it become this like mess of flame and bits. Yeah, kind of looks like it's exploded a bit, but still kind of, yeah. Tricky one to get right, I think. One we can come back to. Yeah, the head looks like a T-Rex head, but then looking at the original Grand, like, yeah, it's not too far off. Like, I'm happy with that for the purposes of this game, which is supposed to just be like random fun, you know. I wonder if I'm putting too much effort into these. Let's see. So that'll be our Grand, and then we want our Deep Trident, and I think this is a pretty safe. So we go all in with the Elemental. So let's just kind of take this for reference. Yeah, I think these weapons are looking pretty good overall. So it's a crossbow. Okay. So we do want our typical ice colors, which I think I have saved here. So that is indeed this one, and that is indeed this one. So it's those two. So if we kind of take this and this, but also make it a trident. Keep the handle type. I mean, that's basically, there's not much further we can go than that, really. It would be nice to, like, because we've already kind of, it's already massive, but we don't want to make it like we just do want to put a spike within the bident. It is an evolution of that weapon. And then what else can we do? Oh yeah, there's the hand, there's the pommel. I think the claw pommel is like really cool, and it should be in all of these combined weapons. I just think that's a nice. I don't think this will ever look bad or wrong for the demon faction. So yeah, that's good. Yeah, it looks cool. I don't know if we want to change the colors up. Are these colors clashing, or does it just make sense? I wonder. Should the Bident itself be smaller? No, I mean, that's good. That works. That looks like the kind of fork you'd see a demon using. But then, yeah, here we got this icy one, which maybe I can get away with just moving it down to start with, and then giving it space to grow. Is that even what we want? Yeah, I think it is. So we'll take this up by 1, and we'll take these up also by 1. Just to make it a bit more epic each time. And I don't know to what extent we want to add other details. Like some of this kind of frosty energy. So what if we, just as an experiment, yeah, what if we took that sort of frosty color and kind of had yeah, like little kind of spikes coming off it. Yeah, so we kind of reach full size, and then we just kind of yeah, just kind of gets this like extra iciness to it. I think that's cool. Yeah, nothing crazy, but you know, I think that we're sort of doing the same thing here. Granda's a bit more outrageous, but yeah, this guy. And then we've got our Sky Ripper, which is our claw but lightningified. And yeah, altogether this is starting to look like a nice roster of weapons. So let's take our sort of final form claw. And we definitely want to kind of drastically change the sort of color palette into sort of lightning, and I believe that is this color and this color. So we can sort of start here, or maybe better to start at the tier 3, which we've done before. I think it's the same difference. And maybe we want to completely redraw these. Yeah, let's have a crack at redrawing them, but we'll keep the palm for some kind of consistency. And what I want is, starting with the black outline, like kind of like 3 of those. I don't know if that's kind of easier said than done, isn't it? Like, that's going to look messy altogether. Does it have to be 3? Okay, yeah, I think that looks good. Okay, let's try that. And then we do it again, but this time with and then we just go bits of lightning coming off. So nothing too crazy again, just clearly some kind of nasty lightning claw mess of sharp bits and forked lightning. And of course, once again, I've forgotten to do it on another layer. So copy this, undo, 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 till all those are gone. Then paste this, and then paste that. Okay. And then the final form, like, yeah, is this good? It's very, very yellow. But again, I think just in the context of like all of these pieces coming together, it's sort of, it adds up. Like, this is your lightning in your bloody hands, you know? That's kind of what it looks like. You've got some bloody electric. And it's chaotic, and it's hard to predict and to understand, but it's there. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. This shape is good. This is good. Kind of the evolution of it helps you to kind of tell what's going on, but yeah, you kind of just have like lightning in your hand. Okay. Right, we are really getting through these, but that's the idea. Okay, so then we have Storm Cloud, Meteors, Ice Beam, and Ice Ripper. Sorry, Storm Cloud, Meteors, and Ice Beam. And then we get on to some of the other ones. So, this is good. Oh, it's 11:35. I'm going to go get my kid from nursery, and I'll be back after lunch to hopefully finish all the weapons for the demons, and then, oh boy, that's a big milestone, because then we've got everything drawn. Okay, thanks very much, and see you at 1 o'clock. Nice one, bye.